All right, Moki here. This is Google Cloud Associate Cloud Engineer test. Um, so this is used for anyone that's interested in working with Google Cloud. This is one of the tests. It's not the bottom. There's an easier test, and there's a harder test. This is what I need to take from my work. Um, So basically this test sees if you're able to set up a cloud solution environment, plan and configure cloud solution, all these things. In Google Cloud, they've got all the answers, or not answers, but frequently asked questions, about Google Cloud certifications. Oh, there you go. You can see the foundation level. This is the very bottom. Associate, recommended for 6+ months. A professional is, for 1 year or 3 years, depending on what it is. There's an expert one, the the official know-it-all. So I've been studying through a site called acloudguru.com and udemy.com. acloudguru is really awesome. They have practice exams and walkthroughs. Udemy is also a walkthrough and a lot of video. So I completed these two, and I took the practice exam. I did not do well. Of course, you see here is 56%. I got 28 of 50 questions correctly. There's only a 2-hour limit. Instead, I finished early. I could use that 54 extra seconds to check my answers. Keep studying. So basically, these are the main sections: setting up a cloud solution environment, planning and configuring cloud solution, deploying and implementing a cloud solution, ensuring successful operation of the cloud solution, and configuring access and security. I figured I had more confidence in this one. I'm just going to go over the questions that I saw here. It looks like it's only showing me the wrong questions. Oh, okay. Never mind. It has all of them. Every single one. So like question number 1 is over here in planning and configuring. But I guess I'll just start from the top down. So this is the one I got wrong. You need to start a set of virtual machines to run year-end processing in a new GCP project. How can you enable the compute API in the fewest number of steps? So I said run this. I thought that would be done with it. This one just says navigate to the compute section of the console. And this is the answer because that's all. It's the fewest number of steps. Just don't have to do basically 2 things: open and run. This is just go there. All right. Let's see another one for this. Setting up cloud solution. 19. You need to store some recently recorded customer focus sessions. How can you enable the storage API in the fewest number of steps? I thought this would be a good one, but obviously don't do anything. It's by default that storage API is set up. There's no such thing as default projects. Each API must be enabled before it can be used. Some APIs are enabled by default, and that includes GCS, and that's storage, Google Cloud Storage. Don't have to configure authentication to be able to use it. Oh, the shell. But regardless, using Cloud Shell would take more steps than doing nothing. Right. How can you link a new project with your billing account? So I selected this one. This is obviously wrong. If you create the project via gcloud, link it with a command under gcloud beta billing. Support does not create projects for you. Yes, I know that. You do not use gsutil. I just thought it was always created to whoever created it, linked to whoever created it. Creating a project via the console will link it to your only billing account or ask you if you have more than one. I remember that, yeah. but when creating a project through gcloud, it does not automatically link the project. Okay, so that's why it's gcloud here. You can use gcloud beta billing to do that. That's why. Creating a project in Cloud Shell implies you use gcloud. Okay, and then the questions I got right. Easiest way to delete. Very easy. Just run gcloud projects delete and then the project ID number. Done. Also, you can just click on it. But the other questions are horrible. Just ignore it. No, never ignore. You already installed and configured gcloud. Do nothing. Yeah, easy. Who can change the billing account link to a project? These two people can change the billing account linked to a project. None of the other guys. You have just installed the software development kit. How do you initialize it? gcloud init, and that's it. These other ones are totally different. When should new projects be created? Whenever the new project is needed. Very simple. These questions come up a lot in here. Which of the following are true about a newly created project? None of these are true. This is not related. Be very careful. Projects are separate from billing accounts, and they're in a free tier. So I can do this. I've deleted my billing accounts because I've run out of my free tier. But I can use projects. When will a newly created project become available? Almost instantly, just a few seconds. Okay, planning and configuring a cloud solution. Number one I got wrong. So I thought it was cold line, but it's actually nearline. Bigtable is not made for storing large objects. Cold line's minimum storage duration of 90 days makes it more expensive than nearline. Multi-class regional and regional are both more expensive, yes. Wait. Cold line's minimum storage class of 90 days makes it more expensive. Oh. Because it said just 1 month. So, nearline. What if the other one's nearline as well? I said cold line here. It's a regional. Store thousands. 1 week, 1 month. It's very unlikely. 1 week. Okay, regional. Near and cold line have minimum storage duration that makes it more expensive for short term. Multi-region. Okay, so regional and just really short time. Okay, I learned something there. Interesting. You were planning to use Bigtable for your system on GCP. This is Google Cloud Platform. Which of the following statements is true about using the pricing calculator for this situation? You need to enter the number of Bigtable nodes. Okay. Bigtable is priced by provisioned nodes. Bigtable does not auto-scale. Does not store its data in Google Cloud Storage. Yeah, I know the pricing calculator. I thought it was a query volume. Then use Bigtable for your system. So I need to know the nodes. Bigtable nodes. You're currently creating instances with gcloud compute instances. Create, that's just a virtual machine name, machine type, high memory 8. I thought this was right. CPU 10? Why did we go to 10? I have CPU 8. We had it on 8. Mem 8 has 8 CPUs and 52 gigabytes of memory. Okay, but you do not need to remember this. Just remember that predefined machines are named by their CPU count. Components of 2. So HiMem10 is invalid. Yeah, I know that. Custom machine types let you tweak the predefined. You get the HiMem. Machine types lets you use extended memory, but since the 8 CPU custom type does not include custom extensions, I didn't know that. That is hard. It doesn't get extended memory, and the command won't work. Since you need to add more CPUs, you could go to HiMem16, but a custom machine type with only 10 CPUs would be less expensive. Yeah, 10 or 16. That is hard. Why can't I use 8? That's the 8 CPUs. That's why I thought this one. Oh my gosh, that's hard. Okay, cloud storage is the best way to store the logs in anything. Just log storage. Got these right. Kubernetes, compute engine, cloud functions. They handle one or both of these apps that are written in Ruby and or Rust. So one or both, and or Rust. Cloud functions. There is no GCP service called Web Engine. Yeah, that threw me. I was like, what is that? Web Engine. There's an App Engine's huge. Oh, they just repeat it over and over again. Question 7. You're currently using high CPU 8. Yeah, so here it goes. 8 CPUs. And you want just a bit more RAM. So you have to make it custom. Oh. Custom machine type with 8 CPUs. So here it says the HiMem, you don't want that one. HiMem's super expensive, right? So the only option would be HiMem, but it's a max amount of RAM for 8 CPUs, and you only want to pay for just a bit more RAM. Yeah, HiMem is expensive. Okay, oh yeah, and there's that 8. Wait, say that again. That's the maximum amount of RAM for 8 CPUs. Maximum amount of RAM. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the max. HiMem. You just want a little bit more. So custom machine and more RAM, just basic. Okay, next. You're estimating the cost of hosting a system on, this is Kubernetes, Google Kubernetes engine, and exposing 2 services externally. None of these are correct. These are just junk. You need to be very familiar with the pricing calculator. Okay, so you're estimating the cost of hosting a system. You don't do any of this stuff. There is a Kubernetes tab. That's all it is. They had here on the compute engine tab, storage tab, and networking tab. But I can rate it. Wow, that's cool. Okay, next. GCP Pricing Calculator. This is the best tool to estimate your costs. And last one, for planning, you have a volume of data that is accessed very rarely, 3 to 4 years, but you should retrieve very quickly, less than 1 second. Yeah, all of it's fine, and none of the other options is correct. They're a little tricky with that. You got to pick 2. You know, it says thaw time from cold line. I guess they're playing with words, the cold and thaw. All storage classes offer low latency. Done with that. Deploying and implementing cloud solutions. So they're giving you a hint over here. 20% of the total questions are each. 20%. 20 times 5 is 100. 100%. So there's 10 questions of these, 10 questions of these, 10 questions of these. That's what it would be on the test. Alright, you need to very quickly set up a WordPress. I got this wrong? I thought There is no GCP services Cloud Press. Okay, yeah, that one's not possible. WordPress is not designed to run on Google Cloud Functions. I got that. Google Cloud Launcher was renamed to be the marketplace. It refers to the same thing. Oh my god. I hate that question so much. Is that for real? You are planning to run a single node database on Kubernetes. Which of the following things do you need to consider? You should use persistent volume and persistent volume claim objects. Okay, databases are all about preserving information, about keeping and not losing data. All right, so we need to make sure that Kubernetes knows that we care about the data we store and need to keep it around. To do this, we need persistent volumes. Kubernetes does not replicate disks across pods. It ensures that the data for a pod persists and is still available to it when it recovers from a failure. Oh my gosh. I thought it was replication. Wrong. Got half of these here. Alright, you need to set up lifecycle management on a new cloud storage bucket. Which of the following options should you consider? There are some details here that you need to remember. The GCS, the storage console, does not deal with lifecycle configuration files. Okay. GSUtil deals with JSON files. JSON and XML APIs deal with JSON and XML respectively. Oh. GSUtil deals with JSON files. So this is wrong. XML using GSUtil. It's not possible. Oh my gosh. So first, identify an existing bucket with the configuration you want. That's easy. They all have to say that. Download the bucket's configuration JSON and using the JSON API. That was the answer. And then apply the configuration file to the new bucket via GSUtil. That's why GSUtil and JSON go together. That's the key. A team aims to create a storage bucket that stores files which are accessed once every 6 months. Which CLI command is used to perform this task? Alright. GSUtil MB. Coldline is suitable for storage buckets accessed rarely. To create a bucket, the GSUtil MB command is used. That's make bucket. Oh my gosh. Make buckets. I've never done this before. That's the problem. Well, now it's in my brain. Let's see if can I go back. Oh no, I can't go back. I screwed it up. There we go. That's cool. Make buckets. Okay, 48. You're thinking through all the things that happen when a compute engine instance starts up with a startup script that installs the Stack driver agent and runs GSUtil to retrieve a large amount of data from cloud storage. Of the following steps, which is the first one to happen? So, startup script, it's put in. I thought it was the startup script begins, but even before it begins, the metadata service returns information about this instance to the first requester. My brain just exploded. Immediately when the VM is powered on, resources are allocated and acquired. The operating system starts booting up and the instance is considered to be running. That's when gcloud completes. If it was run without async, then the metadata service will provide the startup script to the OS boot process. The GSUSL command will also need to get metadata. Oh my gosh. And then it'll complete. The metadata service returns information about this instance to the first request. That is weird. The compute engine instance starts up. So even before the instance startup script begins, metadata service returns information about this instance. Wow. Oh, here's a link. VM instance lifecycle. Oh, you can see it. Is that what that is? Provisioning, staging, terminating. Transition between each VM state. It's a virtual machine. Deleting. Okay. Instances start. Provisioning, staging, running. Alright. Let's go on. What will happen if running Kubernetes node encounters a fatal error? Oh, yeah, I got these all right. Kubernetes will automatically restart the node. Nodes, they restart. A Java program running on Compute Engine. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a headache. I think this one's giving me the headache here. I swear. Alright, a Java program running on Compute Engine needs access to cloud tasks. What is it? Not. Okay, Google would not recommend. Do not do this. Java programs can use the software development kit to access GCP services. Your program does not need to concern itself with the metadata flavor Google header. The SDK will handle that. Kubernetes will not automatically take any actions. Okay, this, if it fails, you have to run kube control git deployment. This actually probably says it in here somewhere. Okay. Okay, next. 45. You're thinking about all these things that happen. Data retrieval from... Okay, this is the last step from a startup script to retrieve a large amount of data from Google storage. Very last thing is you retrieve the data. This was the first thing that happens. And then logs actually happen before it actually retrieves the data as well. You need to very quickly set up Nginx. So this is a third-party... brain just stopped. It's on the marketplace. Anything on the marketplace is third-party. That's cool. Load balancing. So this... Oh, it's been deprecated. It's no longer supported. Okay, let's go next. The next section for another 20%. Okay, so done with 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. Setting up, planning, deploying. Now ensuring successful operation. And then we'll go to security. An engineer needs to present a proof of concept. Alright. To the team's deployment head that demonstrates the capabilities of Kubernetes in GCP. The engineer plans to create new resources from a file accessible in a URL such as GitHub. And you do it by I just didn't get this. I did not understand this. What is this? Okay, let's see. What's that even in here? Okay, creating objects. Kubernetes manifest can be defined in YAML or JSON. The file extension YAML JSON, yes. Okay, cube. I think it's pronounced cube control. Cubicle. It's gonna bother me now. Kubectl. Apply -f. The YAML config can be used directly from URL, and the same kubectl apply -f command is used with URL as parameter. I thought you had to write the actual URL. And here's the URL. Not from -f. Okay, stick in head. An associate engineer was instructed to change an empty cloud storage bucket from one region to another. No. You don't use that. Delete the original bucket. Create a new bucket. A new bucket must be created as the region cannot be modified. Okay. Man, I just thought you could just change it. I guess you can. An e-commerce application was migrated to GCP. So it's a like eBay app. Started to accumulate a lot of logs in the virtual machine storage disks. And for the past couple of weeks, the team managing these disks aims to introduce a solution to centralize and scale for log storage. Okay. Cloud logging provides a centralized solution. Yeah, should know that one. I should know that. I'll never forget that now. You are designing the logging structure for a containerized Java application that will run on Kubernetes. Which of the following options is recommended to use the least number of steps? So I thought it was this one. Write lines to a file, log line to a file, install the stack driver. That's wrong. Have the developers write log lines to SD standard out and standard error. The App Engine SDKs only work for apps running on App Engine. Stack driver does not automatically send. This is also just cloud monitoring. Send files named stackdriver.log. Stack driver logging is, let me see, stack driver logging, cloud log monitoring. That's the new name for it. Cloud platform, cloud logging. Whoa, that was weird. Cloud logging. Very simple name now. Cloud logging, yeah, they got rid of that word. Is enabled by default when you create a new cluster using the gcloud command line tool or Google Cloud Platform console. Logging to standard out and standard error on GKE is the recommended way to log. Okay, containers offer an easy and standardized way to handle logs because you can write them to standard out. Docker captures these log files. Okay, you do not need to implement advanced logging mechanisms. That's the key here. You don't need to configure it to monitor. My bad. It's automatic. Okay, wrong, right. In Kubernetes console, edit the cluster and specify the new desired size. So this is Kubernetes cluster has 6 nodes. You need more. It's about to run out of capacity. So edit it and specify the new size. Why does this not work? Clusters are editable. I know that. Not immutable. It should not be recreated because of changes. Cluster autoscaling is an optional setting. You do not manage nodes via Compute Engine directly. You always manage them through Kubernetes, even though you can see them via compute engine. All right, cool. Just edit in the console, easy. Yay, I love getting things right. This is great. kubectl label. This is gonna bother me. Okay, how to pronounce this? Cob control? Cube? It is cube. Cube control. Cube? Kubernetes? Oh, Kubernetes. Kube control. Kube control, label pods. Label is the keyword here, not annotate. Specifying the label can be performed. Doing that. So, you have an existing pod called target pods. It needs a new label. Kubernetes kube control. Service reliability engineer has been instructed to generate a Kubernetes secret for a staging Kubernetes cluster. The engineer was given a file that contains key value pairs inside of a file which is loaded by the application. How can the service reliability engineer accomplish this? And that's it. You have to create it. Kube control. One of the options to generate a secret from file is use of the from file. Alrighty, you run the command kube control describe pods. That will give you information. It will not give you failure, error. You have a Kubernetes cluster that currently has 6 nodes but has lots of idle capacity. What you should do: run this. Clusters are editable, not immutable. Said it many times, and should not be recreated because of changes in demand. Cluster auto-scaling is an optional setting. You do not manage nodes via compute engine. There it is. Don't do that. Never. You always manage them through Kubernetes. You can see them in compute engine. Your team is running a Kubernetes cluster in GCP. One of the engineers has created a service that acts as a load balancer to several pods. Unfortunately, the setup does not work, and the load balancer does not seem to detect the target pods. The engineer has instructed to list down the labels of the pods running in the cluster to troubleshoot this issue. Get pods. Oh, and not just get pods. You have to show the labels. You have to use show labels. Not display. Show labels only. Finally to security. Almost done. Failed this one. This is wrong. It is not folder viewer. Oh, I did pick this one right. Owner. You need to list objects in a newly created GS storage bucket, which would allow it. Owner is super powerful. Storage admin. I thought that's too powerful. Oh, it's compute. Role viewer. That has nothing to do with this. Role viewer. It's roles. Compute. Grants permission to create. The compute storage admin, this one, grants permission to create, modify, and delete images and snapshots. We're trying to go to the bucket. This is not, it's compute, it's not the bucket, not storage. Folder viewer is related to project organization. Oh, my bad. I wrote more resource manager. Slap. Which actions should you perform to enable? I gotta go back there. So this is roles owner is super powerful. I know that. That's storage. All right, moving on. Which action should you perform to enable Compute Engine instance in Project A to read files in Project B? So, yeah, you need to go into Project B and grant access to Project A, because A wants to read B. And basically, it's like asking someone for their cell phone number. I want to be able to call this person, and this person says, okay. Person B, Project B, says, okay, here you go. Here is the access to read this bucket. Since the default scopes allow reading from GCS, oh, it's the same description. So I said log into the shell and run this. I thought that would allow access to A as well. All that remains to get this situation working is for Project B, which owns and controls access to the bucket, to grant access to the service account being used. APIs are enabled for a project and do not differ between internal and external access. Do not change the default service account setup and attachment. Okay. I guess that's what that does. That is a little difficult. Okay, you go to the activity log to look at the create virtual machine event in GCE for an instance. Okay, and you just created, for the instance you just created, you set the resource type to GCVM instance. That's its type. Okay, it's very bland. Which of the following will display the create VM event you wish to use? Okay, I didn't understand. I guessed on that one. Like development, maybe? Configuration. You must be very familiar with the activity log. Activity log. In this case, create virtual machine is considered to be a configuration activity. Create is configuration. Whoa. Activity log. Oh, there it is. Activity log. Configuration. Oh, okay, there we go. Configuration, let's see. So I just made this this project. I undid my billing. Removed everything. So it's created. Oh, there it is, created. And if I change this to something like billing, okay, it's probably gone. Because I don't think I have any billing. Yeah, there's no activity for billing. And then if I change this to data access, there's probably nothing either. All it did was just create this project. Whoa. Search up to December. Wow, how far back is this thing going? I just created this today. Why is it going back? Whatever. Alright. Another fail. You're planning out your usage of GCP. What do you need to consider about service accounts? So not this one. I thought you had to enable it. The default service account is restricted in what it can do by default access scopes. The scopes that restrict what can be done through a service account are somewhat limited. You're planning out your usage of GCP. What do you think about service accounts? You have a GC instance. Using the default service account and access scopes allowing full access to storage, compute, and billing. Okay, it's normal. What will happen if an attacker compromises it? Oh, this is none of the other. So this is a trick. I thought they'd be able to access everything allowed by the access scopes. Requiring metadata flavor header protects against a different type of attack. Okay, that's not related. It will not help. The access token will be available to the attacker's program and it will work the same way outside of GSP as it does from within it, regardless of the MAC address. Yeah, that doesn't matter. In particular, the token will only allow the attacker to perform whatever's allowed by both the service account and the access scopes. Both the service account and the access scopes are missing some capabilities from the other. The actual access possible by using the token will be less than either of them independently. Wow, that's hard. I guess the scopes don't really matter because anyone outside of this is not even included. Whoa. Why is it still going back? That's weird. It's just... Let's see, minus 6 hours. Weird. Now let's go to the correct answers. Really need to understand this more. Attacker compromises this instance and they run their own program in it. Oh, there we go. Read about this, about VM metadata. Host, startup. I'll have to read about that some more. Alright, the ones I got right, App Engine Admin. That is the IAM predefined roles. To allow modification of the default cookie expiration time for the App Engine. App Engine Admin. They can modify. The other options do not allow the required permission. Deployment, service, and deployer do not. They cannot modify a cookie or expiration time. All right, you're responsible for securely managing employee access to Google Cloud. So, you need to enforce MFA. MFA stands for multi-factor authentication. That will basically securely manage employee access. That's on their side. Use Google Cloud Identity or GS Suite to manage Google accounts for employees. 2 ways to centrally manage Google accounts. Google Cloud Directory Sync does not use LDAP to connect to your organization's directory server, but it only pulls data to synchronize and never pushes changes. Little hard, but very important. You are designing the object security structure for sensitive customer information. Assign only limited access to achieve least privilege. That's that. This is gone over many times. To keep things safe, give people only enough information that they need. That is drilled in. All right, and then you can do penetration testing on that. They've done on other things as well. Even Discord. It's different roles. You're a cloud engineer in your organization. One of the account managers was instructed to change the name of the GCP billing account named Account B. Unfortunately, the account manager experienced a permission denied error while performing this operation and was unable to complete the name change. Which IAM permission would allow the account manager to accomplish the task provided? So, the difference between this and this is the S. And you have to have billing first. Billing's the larger group, then accounts. You have to have the S. When should you add new users to your project? Whenever the new user should begin having access to the project. That's that simple question. None of these silly answers are on weekends, in the billing, whatever. That's it for 50 questions. My brain's fried. I hope you liked it. And there's plenty of places to practice. Sample questions here, even on google.com. There's you can make like a new account and do the free tier. So I did this. This is pretty good. I probably used like a few dollars in the free credits, just playing around with all of what Google Cloud has. Cloud storage, Cloud Engine, BigQuery, Kubernetes, App Engine, Cloud Run, Cloud Build. Wow, there's PubSub, Firestore, machine learning, a lot of machine learning, really cool stuff. It's almost infinite, not really, but years of things. Why Google? This is cool. I don't know, I love it. The other options outside Google Cloud are, Amazon AWS, Azure for Microsoft. Oh, and about this test, like I said, it's 2 hours, costs $125. You can do it online or at a testing center. The online is super strict. You cannot even stand up and go to the bathroom in that 2 hours. I can't even imagine taking this test online. It scares me, the strict restrictions they have for it. So I'm just going to drive 30 minutes to a testing center. Once I pass this practice test, I'll take it a few times. They have multiple choice and multiple select. Let's see what else is in here that you need to see. Get real world experience. Yeah, you really need to mess around with Google Cloud. It's so weird. So yeah, you can delete projects, and you can create projects. I'm just messing around with this right now. What? Why did that not work? Oh, there's a space in it. Shut down. So that's shutting down. New project. For YouTube. And like I said, it'll be created in like seconds. Anyways, yeah, play with it on here. I have stopped my billing because I ran out of the free. But I can just make a new account somewhere else. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, there's the foundation level test and the higher tests. There's an exam guide. It's a webinar. There's like a video talking about it. Sample questions, schedule an exam. Oh, when you schedule an exam, it's on Criterion. Webassessor.com. It's really weird. And then sample content. So yeah, they have some. Google Cloud has their own, like 20 questions. Yeah, these are good to go over as well. And that's it, I think. Earn a skill badge. It's kind of like a video game, earning points. Take the challenge. This is cool. I'll go through some of this stuff later. A lot of fun stuff on Google. I love it. All right. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that jazz. Later.